Welcome, everybody. Sorry for being a few minutes late. Like I said before, I'm sorting out this new software, trying new stuff all the time, but we're getting there. So it's all good. So welcome to this, the first ever official Racing Pigeon International TV show, which is essentially what I've been doing, but a scheduled show. It's going to be on Facebook Live. It will be reproduced over to YouTube. Eventually, it will be simultaneously live broadcast onto YouTube as well, but we've not got there yet technically. But for now, on Facebook Live, like I said, it's essentially what I've been doing, but it's a schedule. And I have to thank my mate and increasingly becoming my pigeon mentor, Sheldon Leonard, for suggesting this. Actually, when I met Andy Quirk in Ireland, he suggested I should start scheduling my my broadcasts more. So I have to thank him as well for it. But Sheldon, I was speaking to Sheldon last night, it was like, you need to, people don't know when you're going live, you need to start broadcasting and scheduling them. So I'm not telling you every single Monday and Thursday at 9 o'clock it will be here. I will be doing them Mondays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock at night. And unless I'm traveling or I really can't do them, I will be here. There'll be occasions where I am traveling, and there'll be occasions where other stuff means I can't do them. And in that case, I will just tell people way ahead of time that for whatever reason, there's no show tonight. So that's that. So we have already 39 people on, 52 actually, 52 people already. That's great. So it's not official. I've got a bit of an agenda so people can know what we're talking about. But the reality is we'll talk about anything pigeon related. But what I will be doing is I'll be trying to do, so my goals, I'll tell you a little bit about this later, but Thursdays I want to be a bit more of a freer thing. Mondays I'm going to be talking about some of the, during race season, I'm going to be talking about some race results from around the UK and Ireland and Europe. On a Monday, we'll be talking about that. So any of the standout results that are there, we'll be talking about that on a Monday. And on a Thursday, what I want to do over time is start getting guests on and interviewing people and that kind of thing. And generally just talking about everything else. Now, this is not like a self-broadcast promotion thing. It's not just designed to promote what I'm doing. It's to talk about everything that people want to talk about. And I'm going to get it set up on the website where people can just submit their questions of stuff they want to answer or that people want me to cover over time. But first things first, it's been a mad 24 hours, so I haven't got that set up yet. So we have an agenda. I mean, how organized is this? This is the agenda for tonight. Let's just see who's in the house first. Chris Davis, evening, mate. Hope you're well. Pete Berry, afternoon. Thank you for all your hard work. Pete's a moderator on the new group, which I'm going to be talking about in a while. And it's pretty accurate to say he's been bombarded with group-related stuff all day since 7 o'clock this morning. But yeah. Gary Tomlinson, I literally just got off the phone with Gary before I started. This was partly maybe why I was a few minutes late, but Gary sent me a message saying, don't forget us little one loft, guys. And I said, Gary, you were my first and you will be always my priority. I love Gary Tomlinson. He's one of the stand-up men in the sport, tells it how it is, easy to deal with, and a lovely guy to know. So welcome. Oh, my probably my number one tuner in of of my broadcasts. Joe, welcome, mate. Joe's someone that's been hooked into Racing Pigeons as a result of seeing my live broadcast from Sean Hunt's One Off Race. Brian Davies, evening. Matthias, evening as well. Evening, Ian. I hope you're well, mate. And we've got Kieran Kavanagh in the house. Evening, Kieran. Craig John Wilkinson, top man. Thank you very much. You too, Craig. We've got Dragan. I hope I'm pronouncing right. Again, apologies in advance if I don't. James Dutton. Bellevue Lofts. Evening, William. Wayne Conway. Nice you could make it, mate. And good speaking to you early. So we've got Stephen O'Brien who says, inviting guests on during an afternoon show at weekend to do loft visits or shows around their lofts, etc. But yeah, all of that kind of stuff, Stephen, I'm going to be working on. Stephen Harrison, thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Inuit, I know I'm not pronouncing that right because my girlfriend's Romanian and I can't pronounce your name. I do apologize, mate. Tommy, good evening. Stephen, good evening. Andy, Yasir, Marshall, thank you very much, mate. Andrew K, the Mr. Andy Quirk, who I was speaking with earlier. Give it time, this page will explode. This page has been badly needed for a long time. Thank you very much, mate. Michael, bonjour. William, Anthony, our second moderator in the group. All right, Crypto. There's an in-joke there. My little band of people call me Captain Crypto, and it's a name that's sticking. Dave Sean, evening, mate. Philip, evening. Elaine, nice to see you. Morris O'Donnell, evening, mate. Been on the phone to Morris today. I'll tell you about that later. Lorraine, evening. Kev Parsons. Let me just get rid of this stupid message. Kev Parsons. Oh, mate. 3-hour delay in Larnaca. Never flew out of Larnaca. I've always ever flown out of Paphos. Right, guys. So welcome, everybody. So here's the agenda for tonight. This is, agenda sounds all very strict, and it's not. I just want to give people ideas of what we're talking about. And like I said, this is your time. This is your show. This is for you guys. Ultimately, I will talk about some of the stuff I want to talk about. But down, as this progresses, I want you guys telling me what you want to talk about. I want you to be getting involved in this show. As we are at the moment, you need to download an app, Be Live, right? And I'm going to put that in the message box now. It's although it's over Facebook, it's actually a separate app without getting too technical. So that app there that I've just put in the comments is you go and put that in to your app store, whether it be Google or iPhone or whatever, and down the line you want to participate. And even if tonight, let's do it now. Okay, let's do it. Damn, I'm not supposed to swear on this because I want it to be a family-friendly one. I apologize for any under 18s that are watching or people that are offended. Actually, if you're over 18, I don't apologize for being offended because I do swear in my normal life and I make no apologies for it, but I certainly won't be swearing in kids. And it's going to be family-friendly, so I'm not going to swear. But if you want to try to be a guest, my first ever official RPI TV guest, go and download the Be Live app. I had somebody testing this out with me a couple of days ago. They managed to do it. And then I can send an invite to you and you can come on live and talk to me and talk to everybody else. Talk to the 60 plus people that we have watching at the moment. So yeah, go and check that out. Let me know in the messages if you've managed to download it and and then I'll bring you on. Why not? So I'll just say hi to a few more people, and then we'll crack on. So thank you, Melvin. Much appreciated, mate. Yes, Richard, I will be. I'll be talking about that in a bit, mate. Thank you, Copath Lofts, Kevin Frail. Evening, mate. I met Kevin without even knowing about it, really, when he bought a loft off me in 2006, just as my life was going really bad. Kevin bought a really nice Park Hall loft off me that I'd only literally had for 3 months. It was a nightmare time, but I met Kevin then without knowing about it. Yes, Andy. So I'm doing the shows 9 o'clock Monday and Thursday evenings, mate. That's it. Like I said earlier, there'll be some times where I can't do them because I'm traveling or I have to do other stuff. The plan is to do it Monday and Thursdays at 9 o'clock. So Stephen, it's let me get the app up for you. Just give me 1 second. I'll show you what it looks like, because it sounds like people are having problems with it. And then this is not on the agenda, but it's important because if people want to participate in this, this is the app that you need to get. It's called BeLive.tv. All right, it's BeLive. I'll put it in here. Never trust a man with more than one phone, and I've got 3 of them. Don't know what that says about me. But BeLive.tv. So let me put that in here. So I'm going to put that in there. So that's the one you need. All right. Okay. So evening, Mark. Started to join your sessions, doing a grand job, but no swearing. I will try my very best. I like I said earlier, I do swear in normal life. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, I don't make any apologies for it. It's just one of my things. But I certainly intend not to, because I want it to be a family friendly, and I want people the under age of 16 to watch it. So I will do my very best, and I apologize if an occasional word comes out, but I certainly have no intentions of swearing, John, because I do want it to be family friendly. And so go, BeLive.tv app download. Andy, don't know what you mean, mate. Don't know what you mean. Check shirts are my thing. I'm in the middle of waiting for a cartoon character of me in a cape that is check in color, and it will be Captain Crypto's cartoon character, Pete. Indeed, mate. It is 13 years ago. Yeah, it is. It's a long time, mate. Never trust a man in a check shirt. Yeah, that's the one, Stephen. It's this one here. That's the one there that you need. BeLive.tv. All right. That's the one you need if you want to get involved. Thank you for. Never trust a man, full stop. Leslie, get that BeLive app and get on here and tell me what you mean. We all have pasts. I've had more exes than I care to imagine. I could say the same about the fairer sex, but I don't. Considering my life and the business I was in, which was running 32,000 porn sites back in the day, I have never cheated on a woman yet and never will. But anyway, that's another story. HFJ watching from South Africa. Got it, Stephen. Great. Well, let me know when you've got it, and then I will. What I will do is I will So I'm going to share this out now. How do I do that? So I'm going to type this. I'm going to put this in here. Let me get rid of that horrible comment about check shirts. And so if you want, once you've downloaded the app, if you would like to come on and talk to me and talk to everybody else, you've got to do that. Now, let me figure a way of, it's not going to be clickable, is it? Let me see if that works. 1 second, guys. It's a little, oh, there we go. It works. So that I've just put in there, if you click that link, you can get on to be a guest, which we will do in a little while. So I'm going to leave you waiting a little bit, but because we need to cover some of this actual agenda, and considering we're 20 minutes in already. Right. If you're saying hello to me, I will come back to you. I will catch up. I believe in including everybody. But what we're going to do for now is we're going to talk about this. We're going to get through this agenda. And if you want to speak about anything specific, let me know. Tony, I can see you ready to come on live. I will bring you in a little while, mate. So the first thing is that we've got is this new RPI TV show. We've already talked about it. 9 o'clock Monday and Thursdays. Tony, I can see you've gone off, mate. Come back on and I'll keep you. I'll be on. Chris Davis is ready to join the broadcast as well. Excellent, Chris. Just hold on and I'll be there, mate. So I've already talked about TV show. Like I said, 9 o'clock Mondays and Thursdays, UK time. This will be happening. And occasionally, like I said, I won't be able to do it, but I will keep people posted. So our new Facebook group is the next thing. Our new Facebook group, which is scrolling down here, we already have, the last time I checked, over 1,100 members in it, and we literally launched it 24 hours ago. It was suggested to me by somebody that kicked me out of their Facebook group that I need my own Facebook group. And then I posted on there, do you think I should get a Facebook group? I was previously not getting a Facebook group or launching one because the reality is I thought there's so many of them. I was setting up Racing Pigeon to become a separate group out of Facebook. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do it because there's a lot there and I'm just going to stick to that. But then it was suggested maybe I should. And the thing that actually made me decide to do it, apart from the idiot that suggested I need my own Facebook group, was that I actually I've got 4,996 friends on Facebook, and you're only allowed 5,000. So there's a lot of people that want to connect with me, but I can't accept them, physically can't accept them. I can get them to like the page, but page on Facebook is not as great as people think because you don't see all the stuff. Facebook wants you to pay money to promote the posts and stuff. So actually this group is a great way of people being able to catch up what I'm doing and see what I'm doing without actually being a friend of mine. So that's why I did it. So that's the thing. Chris, stick with me, mate, and I will be with you. I can see you ready to. In fact, what I'm going to do is interviews and guests are the next thing. But so he's not waiting, because Chris has been commenting on a lot of my stuff, getting involved in my stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to that, and I'm going to bring Chris on. 1 second, Chris. Chris.
I'm on.
The power of technology. How was he? Was that easy enough to do, mate?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I can't see any comments or anything though. I don't know.
No. Well, yeah, I know that's the case, but we can see you, we can hear you, everything's fine. So, welcome. You are the first ever guest on RPI TV.
It's a pleasure.
I'm sure you feel very privileged.
It's an honour.
Can you see me?
So again?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
All right. So you can tell that I was joking there and not being serious. Good. All right, mate. Well, we got 70 people watching you live now, so welcome. You've been commenting and involved in everything I'm doing, which I appreciate and I thank you for, mate. Have you got any ideas of what kind of stuff we should be covering? Any more thoughts, input? Let me know.
Well, I think you're doing a good job with the one-off racing. That's definitely good for the sport. It'd be good if you could do some, like interviews with children and they're already racing and things like that in schools. That would be good. That would be good as well.
Definitely on my list. There was a young guy in the. There's like a 9 or 10-year-old guy that was in the. I don't want to say kid, but he was a young man that was in the British Shaming world who. I don't quite know what happened to that. I did make contact with somebody that knew his parents, and they were up for it, but it didn't happen. I will put that on my list. But I definitely want to be bringing new people, and this is why on the Facebook group I'm promoting. The guys that run the Lou and I can't remember what it's actually called, which I should really. I'm sorry. Louisiana and Wayne's group. I'm promoting that because they're young for this sport. They're young. They've got that group. They've got 3,000 people in there, and I want to promote people like that. So yeah, definitely I'll be adding people on, and all being well, we can get kids on as well. And in addition to that, not just this, but I want to go and do loft visits. Like I said, I've said before, my 15-year-old is going to be racing next year, and I want to be able to use him to help as well because I think it's a lot more effective. Anyway, Gavin is still with us. He came on live, ready to come up. Come back in, mate, and I will bring you on next. So if you're hearing this, come back on. You've disappeared, but come on, Gary, because I could see you. So I think 30, 40-year-old men talking to young people is okay, but I think it's a lot more powerful if a 15-year-old who's relatively trendy and normal kid, I reckon that's a lot more powerful down the line. And if he can portray what he gets out of it, I mean, his trip to Ireland, he was just excited beyond belief, and he's got that many people offering in to help him out now. And that's what is great about the sport. People love to help young people out. So, but yeah, I'll definitely be doing that, mate.
My boy's just started he's racing this year as well. He's 9 years old.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's get him on then. As long as it's not too late.
He's not here. He's not here at the moment.
No, I didn't mean now. Now, but at some point, let's get him on.
Yeah. We'll do. Yeah.
Let's get him on.
Yeah, and he'll give you the spiel, and he loves it. He does.
That's what we need, mate. That's the future. I was 12 years old when I first got hooked. I saw birds flying around near where I live, and I went and hunted the guy down I'm like, what are they? They look great, and still to this day, I love birds. I just love simply seeing birds flying around as a kid. I love it. And I went and hunted the guy down. John, that's the link. The app is called BeLive.tv, John. Sorry. And that's how I got into it.
I could also get him on to give you a tour of the loft and show you what he does and stuff as well.
I mean, we don't want to be doing that for him. If he's only 9, we don't want to be doing that at 9 o'clock at night. But what I'll do is I can do a pre-live with him, and then we'll share it on there, and we can organise it where we can do Where are you based?
I'm in West Wales.
All right. Well, at some point I'm coming to West Wales, so we perhaps can do it face to face, and then we can show it on here. So yeah, that's great, mate. 9 years old is the right age. But yeah, thank you, mate, and thank you for all your support. I know you've been a supporter of it and the cause and the revolution and what we're doing. So thanks very much, and keep in touch, mate, and let's arrange that. I want to, if he's available and we can swing it, let's do something for definite.
Lovely, and thank you for letting me be a part of this and be the first person ever on the show.
No worries, mate.
Cheers, mate. Keep up the good work. Doing a good job. Take care.
Bye, mate. Bye. So thank you, Chris. Gary, I want Gary on this. He was on and then he's not. I'm going to call him and say, come back on, because I want Gary on there. I like Gary a lot. So while I'm waiting for Gary, so interviews and guests. No, actually, if he's watching me, he's not going to be answering the phone, is he? But if you're watching this, Gary, hey, mate, I saw you were on the app. Come back on, mate. You there? All right, come back on, mate. I'll bring you on. Cheers, bud. So interviews and guests. I want ideas for who we should be interviewing here on this, and guests we should have, and what topics you want to be hearing about. Whoever they are, if they're good people, they will be on. And that's what I want to be doing. You know, I want to be highlighting interviews and guests. So let me know. I'll catch up with that in a minute. Right, Gary, before you come on, mate, just turn the volume down, please, for me, if you would a bit. Repeating. I'm going to bring Gary on in a minute because we're on about a 10-second delay here, guys. And he's watching on his computer, so that's why it is. But we got all these little things to figure out. It is what it is. I'm going to bring Gary on now. Let's see what happens. Gary, you're live. I'm going to bring Gary on in a minute because we're on about a 10-second delay here, guys. And he's watching. Can you hear me, mate? That's why it is. But we got all these little things to figure out. It is what it is. You're listening through Gary on now, so there's going to be a delay. Gary, you're live. I'm going to bring Gary on in a minute because we're on about a 10-second delay here, guys.
Is that better? The volume better?
It is. But we got all these little. Yeah, not bad, mate. What we'll do is when I see you, we'll get you sorted on. You're on a computer. Gary, you're live. I'm going to bring Gary on in a minute because we're on about a 10-second.
Is that better? The volume better?
It is. We got all these little. Yeah, not bad, mate. What we'll do is when I see you, we'll get you sorted on. You're on a computer.
Yeah.
Gary, you're live. I'm going to get you on a mobile app, mate. Because you can hear me in real time. Whereas there's a 10-second delay and it ain't going to work. But say hello anyway. When I see you, we'll get you sorted on. You're on a computer.
Yeah.
You can hear me in real time. Whereas there's a 10-second delay and it ain't going to work.
Okay, I'll try and sort the real app out.
Anyway. Yeah, try and sort the mobile app out, mate, and then we can get you on. Yeah, that obviously won't work on a computer, guys. So we tried. I like Gary, so that's why I wanted to bring him on. So, as I was saying, interviews and guests. So if you've got ideas for people to come on and you want to learn from different people about certain things, tell me, give me an idea of what and who it is you want to know, and I will do my very best to get those people on. Simple as that. Let's catch up with some comments. So people want the link again. I will put the link in to sign up as a guest. If you want to come in as a guest, you can see that, and I can see you come in, but please use the mobile app. Don't use the computer. Don't actually know how Gary did that. I think Gary secretly is a technical whiz who pretends he's not great with computers, but he actually is, because I have no way of knowing how to do what he just did. But there we go. Anyway, right, so let's see what we've got going on in the chat. Right, where were we? Leslie, I still don't like you for saying that comment, but it is what it is. HJF watching from South Africa. And Joe wants to say thanks to Anthony Brecken for making contact with me this evening and offering to help me get involved in the sport. This is what the sport's all around. Yeah, it's it's a great sport. Most people are really nice in this sport. Stephen, yes, it is a free app, mate. I have already put the link on, Leslie. I know, Leslie. I know. George Sylvester, evening. Boo Boo's on. Met Boo for the first time 2 weeks ago. Various subjects, Andy, tonight. It's the first, so we will get down to very specific subjects. Philip, sorry to hear that, mate, but yeah, catch up on the replay, mate. Francisco, hi, how you doing? The app is up now. I'll put that back up for you. So it's BTV app, and that's the app. BLive.tv app, mate, is the app that you need to come on. Tony Corrigan, thank you for watching and listening. Go and have one, co-paddle-offs. We do desperately need to get young people involved, as I was saying as well, but there are more than just young people to focus on. I agree we do need to get young people involved, but there are other areas of people that we can focus on as well, which actually may be a little bit easier to get involved. We'll talk about that at another point, but I will add it to my list. You do need to reach out to people that are already with us, Paul. I agree. So you want interviews with top British flyers? Okay, so suggest specific names, and I will be on it, mate. Sabrina Ferris, congrats on a one-life race. Great day in his to next year. It was a great day. Love it. Andrew, I assume you're talking about Gary Tomlinson. He is. Yeah, the echoes. The echo is what it was because he was on a computer, but we will solve that. Need an interpreter now. I don't know what you mean now. So, Tommy, I agree. They are. The hawk attacks are destroying the sport fast as we have the European Eagle Owl project that we're working on, which I will talk about in a little while. I have a suspicion this show is going to last more than an hour, and I'm absolutely fine with that as long as people want to watch. We'll talk about that in relation to what I'm actually working with Johnny McWhirter on to try and do our bit to help. I hope I'm not in slow motion now, William. Pete Berry, if he wants to come on, he is absolutely welcome. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. Stephen says, be great if you could get top flyers on each week, giving us insights to their management feeling to win systems. I will try my very best. And I know he's extremely busy at the moment because I don't get to speak to him until about 1 o'clock in the morning normally, but I will get Sheldon Leonard on because he's smashing it at the moment, and some of his insights, and anybody else you want, I will do, but I know she will do it. No, you're not on, mate, at the moment, John. Well, Gilbert the Coopers, fair enough, will do. Right, so I'm not writing all this down, but I'll go through all the comments after. So that's interviews and guests. So what I want to talk about next is this new Facebook group. So we've had over 1,100 people in the Facebook group already within 24 hours. My goal is to make get 10,000 members in there and make it a real, great, positive group of people. The rules that I've got for the group are very simple, and I don't like rules. I'm not a big rules fan, but we have to have some. And the reality is the rules are simple. No BS without swearing, no negativity, no backstabbing, backbiting, forward-thinking people, positive, no sponsorship. The group will be free. There will be no sponsorship paid for. People are quite welcome to promote their stuff. They cannot sell birds. There's no livestock. If you join the group, you have to agree to the rules. You cannot sell livestock. It's against terms of service for Facebook. It will get the group to close down, which we don't want. You cannot sell birds. I will come back to that in a minute. It's a free group allowing people to post anything as long as it's not spamming or negative. It's as simple as that. They're the rules. Now, really quickly, I'm very aware that there's an issue on people selling birds on Facebook and what have you. And as I said, the group cannot have that. It is completely against terms of service for Facebook. All right, but I have developed a completely free alternative. And it is this. You can post your birds on this site, right? racingpigeonnetwork.com/ads. Let's get that a bit better. That doesn't look very good. racingpigeonnetwork.com/ads. It should be ads. Yeah. You can go there and you can list your birds and your equipment and pretty much anything you want to do. List on there as long as it's legal. Now, here's the thing. I may be wrong, but I don't think I am. In my opinion, you can go and list your birds on racingpigeonnetwork.com/ads. It's completely for free, and it will be completely free to always free to list your birds on there. But then I don't believe there is anything in the terms of service of Facebook that says you can't get a link from racingpigeonnetwork.com with your specific advert of your birds or whatever it is you've got to sell. But livestock's the key issue. I don't believe you will have any problem then in copying, pasting that link and putting it in on Facebook, right? So you can distribute your link to the birds for sale on racingpigeonnetwork.com. And it won't, or it shouldn't, say it won't, it shouldn't cause problems. And what I'm saying is within the Racing Pigeon International group, I'm okay with people posting their livestock on racingpigeonnetwork.com/ads and then posting it within my group, because actually we're not listing birds for sale on there. Now, that may change. Facebook may say, no, can't allow that, in which time I'll have to say no. And that becomes a different thing. But racingpigeonnetwork.com/ads is a platform for you to be able to list your birds completely for free. All you have to do is sign up, name and email address, sign up if you want to sell birds, name and email address, sign up, and list as much as you want. To go and view adverts for sale, classified adverts, you don't even need to sign up to the site. So if you want to list your birds for sale there, you can do, and that's the web address again. So going off the agenda here, I'm not really one for structure and agendas, but I just wanted to say, as part of the rules, you can't do it. You can't. Adverts will not fly. They really won't be good. They're not. They're just not acceptable. So the next thing on the agenda, and I'll catch up with comments. And Francisco, keep waiting a little while, mate, and I will bring you on as well. I can't, Francisco, I can't see you. I can just see a blank screen at the moment, mate. So if you can, oh, he's gone. No. Okay, Francisco, come back. You're quite welcome to come on. So the next thing I want to talk about is me being real. Now, I had a guy in our group earlier that replied to a post of mine from yesterday. And I'm a very open, real, and honest person, right? I pride myself being open and honest. My life is pretty much an open book. I wrote a book about my life in 2013. That's how open it is. And I pride myself on being real. And I think, like somebody posted on this particular thread, people wear a mask. I haven't got one, right? There are certain very few things in my life I will not talk about online, but not many. And this guy was saying, it was, what did he say? He said, what an effing thing to write on about this site. You're obviously a effing loser trying to get sympathy votes on a pigeon site, and it's self-gratification. And my mate, Rodney Main from Australia, it's funny that he's from Australia, and I've got very good friends that are Australian, so it's nothing against Australians, but there's a little group of Australians. And like I replied to him, look, saying that I was arrested for growing cannabis plants 13 years ago is not something I'm trying to get sympathy about from 13 years ago. It's not something I'm proud about either, but it is part of my story and being real. And I will always be real. That's basically what I'm saying. And I addressed Mr. Rodney Main's concerns, and I asked him to, I'm sure he's a friend of Mr. Barry Ward, ask him to get Barry to come back into the group, and he can address any concerns he has about me as well. So that's it, really. Next, we're going to talk about, we've already talked about my Aussie mate, money and sport, but let's just catch up on Busy tonight. Busy, really good. Great first one. So signal went bad. I'm sorry about that, Alan. So Dave Bereshard says, regarding hawk attacks, is the ISP supported by the royal family? Just wondering, being in as a royal pigeon racing loft. I'm not sure, mate. Good question. Don't know. My limited knowledge of the RSPB is that last year they got funding of donations of about £131 million, which means they're a hell of a big organisation to deal with. And the harsh reality is, I think any of the organisations in the pigeon game have got a majorly uphill battle. John, no, you're not on Believe, mate, at the moment. I can't see you, buddy. They've got a major uphill battle on their hands. And unfortunately, the organisations that need to be fighting, and I'm not entirely sure they've got the budget to do it properly, is the main thing. And then I think the organisational structuring with many of the organisations is probably not conducive to it happening, even if they did have the budget. And I'm not wanting to be negative. I'm just trying to be real on it. And that's the harsh reality of it. And I think things like what we're looking to do with Pigeon Sport Future Foundation, that's what I say. We need more private individuals and other people doing it. That's what I think. It's not really answered your questions because I don't know, but I hope it gives you an idea. Anto says, how about inviting the Fed unions to see what you're doing to promote our sport and hobby? Well, I know for a fact, because I saw him came on here. He was on here. I don't know if he's still on. If you are, Ian, welcome. But I know Ian Evans tuned in earlier, and I'm due to speak to Ian tomorrow. So Ian's very aware of what I'm doing. The reality is, like I said in my very first ever British Homing World article back in April, I am open to working with any organisation in the UK and Ireland, well, around the world, but specifically UK and Ireland. I'm open to working with any of them, and I will help in any way I can. I do have the reality of it is that I'm not very corporate. I don't really follow rules that well, and some people may not like that. Like I said a few minutes ago, I pride myself on being real, so I'll tell you what happened. I had the Up North Combine contact me. John Thompson from the Up North Combine contacted me a couple of weeks into me starting all of this and was quite keen on the idea of working with me to help them progress things. I announced that I would be working with them, and then a couple of hours later, it all went Pete Tong, and he'd obviously had some people objecting to working with me, let's say, and that got knocked on the head, and some quite negative things were said about my past successes and failures. But so, and weirdly, about an hour later after that, I was blocked from every Up North Combine Facebook group out there. Each their own, it is what it is. But like I said, to answer your question, I will work with anybody that wants to work with me to help them out and with the feds and stuff. I've had people saying to me, and it's something I've thought about, I think a new organization, a new club that doesn't have all of this red tape and organizational structure, that is treated more like a business, but from a point of view of cutting through all of this stuff, is a very good idea. But the reality is it's a hell of a lot of work, and I don't know if it could happen. So yeah. Stephen O'Brien. Stephen, try and figure out to get online, mate, on the Be Live app. I would love to have you on to discuss this more. He says the money in sport has been spent on completely the wrong things. I'd love to know your opinions on what it's been spent wrong on. Try and get on the Be Live app. And let's get you on to discuss that, mate. Jim Rogers says, Mark, one of the benefits of Facebook and the internet, I can see very useful to most pigeon fans. It would be great if all liberations in the UK would be listed hour by hour if race controllers could get involved. The pigeon press is outdated with current climate, changing by day by day. If organisations could list rates, point about certain, etc., it would be most useful. Your thoughts would be appreciated. Jim Rogers, Cardiff. Jim, I have already spoken to Ian Evans about this. When the Libline service went out of business, or they closed or whatever, I immediately thought that something needs to happen. The premium rate number voicemail system, which is essentially what it was, is a bit outdated, but there is a valid point that some people are perhaps of a certain age, are not online, and can easily use a phone to call and get the liberation information. My idea for it was, and is still, that it should actually be a three services combined. It should still be the original phone number system, which doesn't have to be premium rate. The reality of running that system is it could be a normal 01 number and not have to charge 60p a minute. So still provide the phone system, which is actually the most complex part to keep up and running and organize. Then there should be a website that gives all of the liberation information where liberators can go on their phone and type in the liberation information for their specific thing. And then combine that with a mobile app or a text message service that if you subscribe to that, you don't have to go on the website, you just get a text message. All of that technically can be done. Not a massive cost. Not a massive cost. Two ways of doing it. It could either be sponsored to run it, or it could charge a nominal fee. And when I say nominal fee, £10 a month or something to each fed. So I have spoken, and it is on my list to put a proposal in to the RPRA to do something like that, ready for next season. And it will be on the agenda for me to speak to Ian Evans about tomorrow. I haven't actively done anything on it because I've been too busy and the deadline's nowhere near yet. But that's the kind of thing I was speaking about. Stephen. I still want Stephen. If you're watching, mate, still, try and get on Be Live, mate. I really want to get you on and talk more about what you think is going wrong. If you can't get on Be Live now, let's hold that thought and you can come on Monday. Dave Beresford. Cheers, Mark. A lot of flyers in England and Ireland think Fed should do more regarding the birds of prey. Also exactly what you're doing to promote sport. Keep alive. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, mate. William Manorley says, you're right, Stephen. That's why. So Stephen Booth says, and that's why the UNC are going downhill rapidly. It's the members I feel for. I don't really know much about them, if I'm honest, more than what I've told you. But yeah. So David Penrose, pleased to meet you, and thank you for joining. We need all the big companies, the ones that are making a living selling as their products. The heads of all the companies, organizations, power to be pushing our bird of prey. So we ain't going nowhere. They would say, as a commercial organization, why us? It should be the organizations and the committees and the associations doing it, which is a valid point. But the reality is, if this bird of prey issue gets any worse, we ain't going to be having as a mass the birds to keep for them to be able to sell as our products. It's a really difficult one. I like quick, simple, easy, even if they're not short-term solutions or long-term solutions to deal with this. And the reality is there is not one. I will come on later. This show's going way over an hour, but if you guys are all right with watching it, I'm all right with keeping going. It's a really difficult one, David. It's been suggested that companies should give back more, but I don't think it would be right to ask companies to give back more, specifically the bird of prey issue. I think they should sponsor more things and they should give some back, because at the end of the day, they write it off against their taxes anyway. So there's an argument there, for sure. Andrew Walton. Andrew, I don't know if you mentioned, if you said this before on one of my posts. Andrew says, I've flown pigeons a few years, money talks, and there's no way a young fancier can come into the sport and win. It's like horse racing, ground racing. It's a business. I semi-agree with you, Andrew. The sport is changing. What I agree with you about is that it is incredibly expensive at this moment in time for young people to come into the sport. I completely agree. It is expensive. Simple as that. But I don't think there's a problem with money outside of the cost of setting up. It doesn't even have to be young people. It's bloody expensive. It's very expensive to set up, whether you're a grown man and obviously it's even more if you're a young person coming into it, because there's not the money there around. It's expensive, full stop. I completely get that. I completely agree. But where I disagree is I disagree that money coming into the sport and the cost of birds and what have you is bad. I disagree with that. I think money coming in the right way is a very good thing. And it's something I was going to talk about later on. But yeah, I agree. And part of the Pigeon Sport Feud Foundation we're going to do is we're going to actively help young people coming in and other groups of people as well. The RPRA have their new development guy, Richard, who's doing a really good job getting birds into the sport. But as a separate organization, I want to be able to help do that as well. So yeah. So let's see what else we've got going on. So Stephen, how do you get on? Right, mate. Go to your app store, whether it be Google or iPhone, right? And download this app, right? It's the BeLive TV app, right? So if you've downloaded that, assume you've downloaded that already, then click this link. Once you've downloaded that, you've downloaded it, sorry, mate. Okay, so now click this link that I'm putting in the comments now, right? And then I'll see you come up, and then I'll add you into the show. So yeah. Right. So where we at? Baz Nichols says the sport is not all about winning regularly. Someone coming in should come in for the other reasons, enjoying the birds, the time spent learning, care, etc. The way I will get the best from their pigeons and also get the love of keeping them. Completely agree, mate. It's not all about winning. It's about keeping them. Like I said earlier, when I was 12 years old and still to this day, when I start keeping them again, I would love just seeing the birds flying around the garden because I do. So, yeah, I agree, though. William McNorley says it's getting harder for people to keep pigeons in Northern Ireland because of planning permission issues. Is that new development, new housing development, William? Or is that generally? Let me know. Yeah, I can't send Ian. I can't send a link invitation to him direct. But if he clicks on that, did that not get shared then? I didn't share that. Sorry. If you click on that link, why is that not? Oh, there it is. If you click on this link in the comments, Stephen, this link I've just sent here into the comments, you will be able to join. Francisco, I can see you. I will be with you in a minute or two, mate. So yeah, if you click on that link, Stephen, I'll see you come up on my screen. So Baz says 95% of fantasy is not week in, week out winners in the big competitions. Absolutely, completely agree. But it's about taking part. There's a lot more. It's the social element of it. Won't let me press the link. Stephen, what I'm going to do is I will Facebook message you the link because I want you on. I want to know what you think, how the money's being spent in the wrong way, mate. I'm sending you when the computer decides it wants to do it. I'm sending you the link now in Facebook Messenger, mate. So if you click on the link in Facebook Messenger, it should allow you to get in. Right, let's bring Francisco in. Francisco.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. You?
Good, mate. Where are you from? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I call from Ipswich, Suffolk.
Cool, mate. Francisco is not a name from Ipswich, though. So, where's your family from?
Yeah, from Portugal. I fly pigeons many years in Portugal, and
Nice.
back in the sport again 5 years ago in England.
Excellent. I've just found out tonight I'm going down to Portugal next month.
You're going for to see one of racing in Algarve.
Yeah, I'm going to be covering
Probably,
that.
I think. Yeah, it's a good one. I've been before twice, but no chance for going this year.
I'm looking forward to it. It's the biggest one in Europe, and
it's very good one.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Very good one.
Stephen, I can see you, mate. Just hold out, and I will be with you in a bit. So, Francisco, so you've been racing over here for the last 5 years, yeah? You still there, mate? No. He's not. I will see if he comes back on. He's frozen. So that was going so well. I've just seen a comment coming in here I want to talk about now, and then Stephen, I will bring you on, mate. Alan Bustede, peregrine falcons are a major problem. Completely agree, mate. Anthony says, No problem, Joe. We're back to Peregrines. Like I said earlier, it's a complex situation that needs deal with, but I think it needs dealing with private, and we haven't even got through the agenda yet. Hang on, I've got people joining. So, one second. I need a producer. So, I agree, it is, but we've got to be smart how we do it. Graham Boyd says, I think that it's imperative to change the public perception of pigeons. I think we need to coordinate with local councils, address the feral pigeon issue in towns, take stray races out of the equation, and demonstrate that we are taking responsibility for them. For that, we can collate more. We can collate more accurate figures, presentations, and how actual losses are. This in itself would portray a better, more productive attitude of the public. Completely agree, Graham. The public perception of our sport, unfortunately, still is flat cap, whip it at the side, somewhere up north, 50 years ago. That is the perception. Now, one of the reasons I talk about why big money birds and stuff is good, because look at the publicity the sale of Ormondo got around the world in mainstream publicity, in mainstream media. And I agree. The biggest problem is public perception. But things like I'm doing and others are doing, like showing the excitement of those birds in that loft in the one loft races and bringing members of the public into that, things like that can help. It's a good point about the feral issue, the feral pigeon issue. Good point. I'd like to talk to you more about that, Graham, if that's possible at some point. Ian Gill. Ian's one of the first people that I started talking to in when I got back into this. And he initially didn't like me, but now he does, I think. Now he does. He does. Can't click on the links on the phone, Pete Berry. We need to figure that out. Probably need to do a test between us, Pete, and see. Stephen, you've gone. Francisco, you've gone again, mate. I don't know why, but anyway. Android, you can't do it. Okay. I think I had a bit of an internet problem, guys, and that's what probably didn't help. John Angwin, it's standard practice now for selling new houses for solicitors to have a clause in the contract to stop the owners from keeping pigeons in the garden. As a developer, I asked them to take this out on every contract. Every little helps. John, you're a good man. I wasn't aware about that. I know certain new estates have these ridiculous things, and it certainly needs to be dealt with, but you're doing your bit to do it. Peter Bell, the money we're paying for ETS rings is mad when you get your birds and ETS rings missing. I agree. I would hope it's a case of commercially, the more people keep using them, the price would come down. I would hope. Maybe that's not the case. It's £1.50 a ring. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of money, especially if you start losing them and people start taking them off. How do we stop birds being shot? Don't know. Certainly need to think about a strategy. I saw a post. Somebody sent me a post on Facebook earlier, and there's birds and racing pigeons lined up, and it's just sad. This is happening every weekend. But again, this is where public need to be aware that the pigeons we keep are athletes. They're not feral pigeons, and that's down to the public perception issue as well. It's it may be even a case where people can't shoot in areas where there's races. There's some kind of coordination needs to happen. I'm not sure, but it's certainly something we need to deal with. It's just the internet. So you've gone again, mate. But try and join me again, please, if you would. Stephen, you're not waiting. I can't see you waiting to join, mate. I'm sorry. Try and get back in again. Again, we've got to figure these things out. It's work for some people, not for others. We'll figure this stuff out. And Anthony Bracken says he agrees 100%. Right, I'm going to go back to the agenda again. If you want to join again, I'm going to put that I'm going to put that comment. Oh, I've got Stephen on. I will bring Stephen on and I'll go back to the agenda. If you want to come on as a guest in this first show, let me know. I've just posted the link into there. I'm going to bring Stephen O'Brien on. Stephen, how are you, mate?
Sorry. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
I just have a black screen there in front of me, so I can't see anything.
I know. It's a bit disconcerting, but we can see you, mate. So, how's it going? What you up to? What do you want to say?
We're chilling out. No, I was just saying earlier we were talking about the money in the sport, so I was just saying that in my opinion, that it's being spent on the wrong things. Like, I mean, when you see charity auctions and all this stuff, the sport gives so much away to the charity, like whereas it could be putting it back into its own sport to help save need support by. There's members here in Dublin that are fighting ongoing battles with the council in order to take the loss down, and they're being driven out of the sport, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
See, these councils are a problem. I haven't really thought about that much. But then when you've got new housing being put in, developers being told there's clauses in there, that ain't helping either.
Yeah.
And now you've got gone are the days where allotments were full of pigeon lofts.
Yeah, exactly. And even in the UK, you see allotments now. They're being bought by land developers and everything, and they're not just driving 1, 2, 3. They're driving 10, 8, 9, and 10 people out of the game. They either relocate or they're gone, you know. But as well as that, I think the sport could be putting money into skills, maybe even say just paying for an entry into a one-off race and going to the school on the day of the final and showing them the live broadcast.
Well, that does happen, doesn't it? That does happen with the RPRA. The schools in that, which is great. I was covering that and I saw schools coming up in the results. That was good. But we just need more of it, you know? I agree with the charity thing, right? The charity thing, look.
I think we just need to keep the charity money kind of hold back a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for giving to charity. I give to charity myself, but just when you add up the thousands and thousands of euro going out from pigeon funds towards charities, the stuff that could do to save this sport is unbelievable.
I agree, mate.
Members there can't afford ETS clocks or whatever. If clubs are having charity auctions, why not have an auction and keep it in the club and pay for members that can't afford ETS clocks? Stuff like that.
I completely agree with you. I have nothing against charities. I run a separate foundation that I do with pigeons about for mental health and music. And I've already said I'm doing a charity auction for that prior to any of the other stuff that I'm doing now. So there's definitely a place, and it's a good thing that it supports charities. But even if a percentage of the money that people raise, let's say 30% was took out, or 35%, something like that, was took out and put back into the sport, it would create a mass momentum and a snowball. And that leads me on to the Pigeon Sport Food Foundation. The Pigeon Sport Food Foundation, every single penny that it raises will go back in one way or another to projects to bring new people in, bring new kids in, go into schools, help people that are in minorities that want to help people that are not even in minorities. I'm not talking about minorities, any race issue. I'm talking about people that, are socially isolated, and help anybody that needs it. Help people that can't afford an ETS clock. Help people that, I was speaking to a guy in South Africa 2 days ago, and some horrible person, without swearing, burnt his race loft down. Now, I was going to offer to help, but actually it turns out he's getting help, and I spoke to Benzing and they're going to help him and stuff, so it wasn't needed. But help people within our sport is the key. And what Pigeon Food Foundation is going to do, it's every single penny it brings in will go back into the sport in one way or another. And I think that's what needs to happen. And I think also flyers and people in the sport that see that happening will be only too happy helping, knowing it's going back into the sport. So yes, there's a place for other charities, but we need to start bringing things back in to be able to help ourselves out. I completely agree.
As well as that, though, you have, say, young members and everything joining. The cost of getting set up in pigeon racing in your first year for a kid, say Zandy there, you have a 15-year-old kid, the cost of a new loft, a couple of pigeons to breed from, get set up, an ETS clock, club membership fees, the cost of training and feeding, a 15-year-old can't afford that. So that's coming out of your pocket, Mark. Not everybody is in the same situation, like, you know. So
no,
I mean,
absolutely, and this is why we need
you need
we need to be able
to help support the younger members.
We do, and that's what PSF is going to do.
Hopefully.
I agree, mate, completely.
Well,
and thank you for being part of the very first one of these.
No problem, mate. Good luck, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Catch you. So, I agree. It needs to go back into the sport completely. Let's see what comments we've got going on. Way past schedule. It's only meant to be an hour. Reality, it's not going to be. Tommy McKinstry, welcome. Thank you for joining. Oh, I've seen you already, Tommy. Sorry, I'm terrible with names, but I'm all right with pictures. Be nice to hear how they deal with hawks in Portugal. I heard council deals with it. Maybe that fellow who was live a moment ago would know. Don't know. We'll find out. I'll do my best to find out. George Sylvester, thank you very much, mate. Why can't we race when harvests have finished? May work. Interesting point, Chris. Not sure. And Busty says, Stephen, you're dead right. Stephen Kennedy, councils all over the land will not give you permission to have a pigeon loft in your back garden. Well, I'm having a pigeon loft in my back garden, and they can fight me for it. Ian Gill, my man Ian Gill. I've not met him yet, but I will do. So he says, what needs to doing is to consolidate the existing membership first before it's too late. There's a potential 30,000 odd members lapsed who could be encouraged to return to sport given the right conditions. Well, maybe 30,000 is unrealistic given natural wastage is passing away, etc. But there's a large pool out there, myself included. Interesting point. There's a lot of people out there that will get back to it if they could get help to do so. Good point. Right. Keep going. With any more comments, if you want to join live, we'll still do that. Don't want to keep it going on too much longer, but if you want to join live, we will still do it. It kind of feeds into my next agenda: money in a sport. I wrote my first British Home World article, money coming into sport, big money pigeons is good for the sport. I believe it is. People will say it forces the price of birds up. Yes, it does. But over a period of time, money coming in will help. One, it raises the profile. Two, money talks in the general mass media. It does. But I've said before, and I will say again, I still insist, and the case in point was Sean Hunt's race, the World Atlantic race 2 weeks ago. Seamus, I've been speaking to. I'm going to be doing an interview with him, the guy that won. With all due respect to him, it wasn't a big money bird that won. It wasn't some famous, expensive pedigree pair that bred that bird, as far as I'm aware. It wasn't. It was his own breeding. I don't quite know what the breeding was, but it wasn't a big money bird. That bird that, let's say, before it won the race was worth perhaps 50 to 100 quid. It may be worth more, and it's no offense to him if it was. But I'm just trying to get the point. 50 to 100 pound bird beat birds that categorically, because I know some of the people that got them in there were that you would pay 500, perhaps even more for. And that bird beat those birds 17 minutes ahead of anything else. So it strengthens my point that saying, yes, there are money out there. The money, bigger money is coming into pigeons. Simple as that. It is. And you're not going to stop it. But I also say that a 50 pound bird equally has as much chance of beating a 500 pound bird if the training and the care conditions are all right by the flyer flying them. You see relatively inexpensive horses beating £1 million horses. I'm not a massive horse racing expert, but I know it happens. And like I said, coming back to pigeons, Seamus, who won that race, his wasn't a big money bird that raced that won the race. Case in point. Next thing, racing leagues. Kind of tied in with it. There's a lot of people saying, Like I had somebody saying earlier, they were on the call, they were on the live earlier. Why am I only covering the big lofts? I'm not intending to. The reality is the guys that I've been covering are the ones invited me, and I'm quite happy to go because why wouldn't I? But the reality is I will completely be covering the smaller guys that are racing and doing well, completely. But there's an argument there that people that have money and I'm not talking about the birds, because I still insist a cheap bird can beat an expensive bird. But the reality is people with more money have the ability to fly birds, more birds regularly and what have you. And this is the question that maybe we should have racing leagues. Maybe it should be a 3 or 4 league division. People start in their league and they work up and you win your league. It's something to think about. What do people think? Let me know. So next thing is the PSF Foundation. Pigeon Sport Future Foundation was incorporated last week as a non-profit organization. It doesn't have shareholders. It doesn't have profits. It has members. At the moment, I'm the only member, and other people will be coming on as the members. Members essentially are kind of like directors, but they don't get shares and they don't take any profits. It's a completely non-profit foundation. I'm still looking for an accountant that preferably is a pigeon person that will do our accounts and auditing as a free deal for supporting the PSF Foundation. If anybody knows an accountant that's a pigeon person that may be up for that, let me know. The accounts, the books, the records will be all public every quarter or whatever it is they have to be. They will all be public. People will be able to see exactly how much money's come in and gone out to various things. There will be no stupid salaries. I and other members of it will take zero, nothing out of it. At most, down the line, as and when it gets big enough, there will be maybe 1 or 2 admin people. If it gets to where I want it to get to, where it does need somebody adminning it all the time, there may be 1 or 2 admin people taking a salary to do that, right? There will be no stupid salaries and P taking out of it. I, for one, will be not taking a single penny. And at most, down the line, members that are a part of the committee we're going to be putting together will perhaps get a bit towards their petrol for meetings and stuff. That's it. Nothing else. No P taking, no nothing. But down the line, realistically, once it gets big enough, there's going to need to be some admin done, and ultimately, a salary or 2 will have to be covered. But to the people involved, like me and others, the members of it, which essentially in real terms are the directors, but they're called members because there's no shares or anything, will not be taking a single penny out of it. It's not going to happen at all. So, with that said, I'm in the middle of getting PayPal set up for it. We already have banking set up for it. I'm way delayed on the website. I should have had it done by now. I've just been so busy. I haven't. Website's going to get set up, and then I'm going to get with Johnny McWhirter. Our page, by the way, has got over 800 likes already. Thank you very much. Go and join the page, facebook.com/Pigeon Sport Future, and share that, please. All of the information about Pigeon Sport Foundation, Future Foundation, is going to be on that, facebook.com/Pigeon Sport Future. And the first thing we're going to be doing is doing a charity auction. Johnny McWhirter and I are going to be hitting up all the big boys and anybody else we can to do a first charity sale. That charity sale will be on Racing Pigeon International, the new sales and auction platform that I'm launching next month. 0 commission, no cost, none of that. Every single charity auction that happens, if somebody's got a charity auction, including obviously our Pigeon Sport Future Foundation and my other thing, Music is Life, that I'm going to be doing one for down the line, but any other charity is able to put auctions on racingpigioninternational.com and the sales and auction site that I'm getting working on. It's done, but it's just not how I want it to be. It doesn't look good enough. Mid to end of September, that's going to be ready. But here and now, any charities that want to do a sale, an online auction sale, can do one completely free. Yes, they've got to do the work to get someone. I can't be doing all of the work to get the listings on, but I will help. But like photographs, pedigrees, listing items and stuff, you need a bit to be able to do that. But the reality is, any charity auction can go live on Racing Pigeon International completely free, and it will always be that way. Going back to PSF Foundation, we're going to have our first charity sale, and then we're going to start the European Eagle Hour project. I'm not going to talk about that much more because I've talked about it before, and I will be doing separate videos specifically on that. But then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going out and saying, right, what else do we need to be doing? We need to be supporting new people coming into it. We need to be supporting other younger people, not just younger people, but other people. What can we do to get out there and get them helped financially, mainly, and obviously birds as well, but financially. What else can we be doing? Now, I'm not going to talk about the European Eagle Hour project much more, but there's a big plan behind that. And the reason we didn't just set it up as a project just to do that is I've been looking for the right way of like I said, bringing money back in and charitable causes back into the sport. And this PSF Foundation is it. And also, once it gets up and running properly, it will give us an actual official body to then go and hit these other issues with. Long-term project, but it will be there. And donations-wise, there's 30,000 people between the UK and Ireland registered. If we could just get 10% of them, 10% of those people to donate a tenner a month to the PSF Foundation, that's £30,000 a month coming in. And we can start doing some serious good with that. That's the direction that I'm looking for it to go in. I will talk separately and more. I don't want these to be all about that. I will talk separately more. I'll be doing more live videos about that down the line. Let's see if we've got any more comments. Stephen O'Brien, the auction for final birds is on Sunday. They're live going to be there on your page. Maybe. I'm working on it at the moment, Stephen. Maybe it will be live. It won't be me, but I'm working on it. I'm talking about covering it. We'll see. I'll let you know. Chris Davis, you agree with the leagues? I'm glad you do, mate. I think it's a good idea. That's a beauty of one-off races. All the birds on one system, same system. I agree. Andrew thinks leagues is a good idea. Francisco thinks leagues is a good idea. See, this is all leaning me to a whole new club setup. I can't do it, but perhaps others can. I ain't got the time. But a whole new club, like a club with realistic sections in it that has leagues. It needs a lot, but something needs to change. Steve Kennedy says league's a good idea because at the minute you have non-league racing against Premier League at the same club. I agree, mate. I agree. And I think, but I don't think, if I'm absolutely honest, I don't think you will get that many clubs adopting it. I wish they would, but I don't. And that's when you get into, like I said earlier, do you create a whole new club system? Do you create a new club? Don't know. Thoughts on that? Colin Farrell, Stephen O'Brien for the Irish admin mark. Connie says, Connie can help you. Ian, I'm already on it, mate. I'm already on it. We must have that call soon. Chris Davis says it'd be nice to have an interview with somebody who has an eagle out. Yeah, I agree. And I'll work on that. Marshall O'Donnell says Stephen O'Brien for admin. You got another vote. So, right. So, talked about that. Couple of little plugs before I talk about the last thing. Go to, if you haven't yet joined, it's my Zandy calling me. If you haven't yet joined the group, the new group, which I don't know how many members it's going to have now, because I haven't checked in over an hour, and it could be loads. If you haven't joined the new group yet, go to facebook.com/groups/Racing Pigeon International and join. Everybody's welcome. As long as you follow the rules I talked about earlier, everybody is welcome. go and set that up and go and get that. Do if you haven't yet liked the PSFF page, please go and like this page, please, because it will help us get the word out there. Go to facebook.com/Pigeon Sport Future. Like I said, I'm up to my 5,000 friends limit. So the group is the way of spreading the word now. The group is the way of interacting with me, not just me, but everybody else, and everybody else seeing what's going on, what we're doing. So that's it. So last thing on the list. I talked about that already. Don't want that. Hang on a minute. 1 second. I like that you like the Racing League's idea, but I just don't know how it can be implemented. So the last thing to talk about on the agenda, unless somebody else, the revolution. This is the beginning of the revolution of this sport, right? Nearly 5 months in now. Things are moving. All right? And it's only just the beginning. Things are moving, and it needs everybody to work together. None of this BS, backbiting, speaking behind the back. It's not good for the public image either. But the revolution has started right now. It's been going, it's been bubbling away, but it's starting, it's happening. You know, again, this is not me blowing smoke up my own backside. 40,000 people watching that one-off race in Ireland, regularly getting thousands of interactions. 1,200 probably members by the end of today in the first 24 hours. And a lot of people offering to work with me and wanting to help me out and get it done. This is the start of the revolution. And we've all got to be involved in it. And we've all got to think how we can help and why we're doing it, because we love the sport. And when I say the sport, I don't just mean racing pigeons. That group that we set up, Tumbler, roller people, they're all welcome. I will have a roller kit when I move house. I will have a roller kit of 20 birds because I love the thing. I think they're fascinating birds. I also think I'm going to talk about this on another show. Actually, rollers are a good introduction to pigeons because they don't take up as much space. They don't take as much money to look after and buy and what have you. But we'll talk about that another time. So the revolution has started, guys. You're part of it. Let's keep going. Let's work on it. Could be a national league, Chris says. Let's finish up with the conversation now. We did talk about leagues, Ian, you're right. 108 shares on videos tonight. Thank you very much for everybody that shared it. Much appreciated. Really good first one. I'm really pleased. Hour and a half, but I'm really pleased. I'm all right with it as long as you guys are listening. Pete, thank you for tonight. And thank you for all your work today, being the moderator, the first horrible job of being a moderator on the group. Thank you. Really means a lot, mate. Andy Pereira, dove raised birds included, mate. Absolutely. If it's a pigeon or a dove, it's welcome. I love all pigeons. Tell you what I'm going to get when I go to Blackpool next year is I'm going to get them big, can't remember what they're called. I was speaking to a geezer about them. If anybody goes to Blackpool, there's 2 birds that always sit on the cages, the fancy birds, the big ones. I want 2 of them. I want to, because I think they're amazing birds. I do. Yeah, Andrew Kavanagh, I agree. Fancy pigeons are where most of you start. I started with races, but I think fancy pigeons, like them tumblers, the rollers. I've been speaking to a guy in Ireland that's going to help out and give some advice. The setup costs of getting a kit of 20 rollers or tumblers or tipplers or whatever, minimal compared to races. Minimal, and it gets people interested. It requires a smaller loft. It's not even a loft. It's 4-foot long kit box. Potentially something there. A lot easier to get people interested in. Still, they get them into races as well, but that's a great way for people to start. Chris Davis, you are famous, mate. You are. Pete Bell is still here. Poulters, that's it. They're the ones. That's the poulters. But what's the specific type of poulter? It's the big poulter. Can't remember what it's called. The poulter. What's it called? I was only speaking to a guy about it from Nottingham, and he's there. He's the guy that has the stand at King's. I don't think it is King's. John, doesn't ring a bell. I'll have to look through my notes. Anyway, the two big birds, like they were on the top of the cages when I went in 2015. But I do think the fancy pigeons are a way of getting people interested because they don't require as much time and effort as races to get people interested. No, it wasn't Norwich. It wasn't Bavarian. I'm going to have to look, Andrew, and I'll let you know. I'll send you a message to let you know what it was. Right. Thank you for watching this official first RPI TV show. I will be back on Monday at 9 o'clock. In the meantime, you will probably see me doing other bits and bobs. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please share this video. If you are watching on Facebook Live, actually live, there's a thing that shows up that you can see. You can get notified when I appear live. That's the easiest way of knowing when I'm live. Because I will still do little impromptu things as well, but this will be the main show, but I'll do other stuff. Sign up to the Facebook group. Get involved in that. Sign up to the PSFF page if you would, please. That would really help us. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I will catch you very soon. Be lucky. Have a good rest of your night. Keep flying and catch you next time.